You all got a lot of faith in Denji. And honestly, I hope you're right. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do mean to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Hey, another fun fact. Chainsaw Mano desu ka. It is an interesting choice. It is an interesting choice. Notably, even the last few was a little bit, I was definitely very theoretical on the perfect spontaneous reintroduction of La Bombas Nucleas in last chapter. So, while I have it on me, keep it on me at all times. Clearly, Yoru didn't, and it was such perfect timing. But then part of me is debating, right? Because ultimately, one, it'll depend on what this chapter says about why they returned. Whether it was the common, or at least I thought of it, and I saw other people in the comments think of it, and then realized that I thought of it in the video. So, like, a lot of people went with the idea that they were literally just reinvented. Like, ultimately, because of how humanity works, even if you were to remove a concept from us, as long as the tools for that concept still exist and the motivation to get to that point again exists, they will simply be reborn. That's just how these things happen. And there's that idea, or the idea I saw some people propose in the comments that when Denji got stabbed in the stomach, because we know that's kind of how it works, we know the pocket dimension that holds all the concepts that Chainsaw Man devours is linked directly to Denji's stomach, even though there technically is like debate on whether or not it's his stomach or it's his esophagus, because like we've seen Chainsaw Man go, like people go inside his mouth and then come out the other side. Like, it's very strange, I will readily admit, but ultimately I saw a debate about that too, like maybe because we saw Denji get speared in the gut, he could have possibly bleh, and everything that was inside, or if not bleh, just simply La Bomba Nucleas like peeked out of his belly button. So like there are definitely multiple ways it could come back. The timing of it would probably be better if it was the latter, because the reintroduction does feel kind of iffy. I saw a lot of people justify it in a very interesting way. A lot of people were pointing out the idea that, well, the whole world kind of knows about the Nostradamus prophecy. This isn't just like a Japan thing. So thusly, the whole world is probably trying to prepare anything and everything to somehow combat Big D. Big death, if you know what I'm talking about. So, La Bombas Nucleas, the ultimate, or at least currently, as far as we know in our universe, the current apex of what humanity has to offer in terms of destructive capability, that does seem like a thing that we would try to reach for if we were desperate for something, and clearly people were desperate for something. The only reason I didn't rock with that explanation as much is because they were specifically used in the context of attacking another nation. And not, like, notably, nothing was said about the Nostradamus prophecies. Like, that's the thing. If last chapter I mentioned that, well, technically, I get why people brought up the idea that it could be built in the Nostradamus prophecies, because in the last chapter, La Bombas Nucleas were specifically described as being made to take out D's. What D are they most worried about right now? Big D. So obviously, I get why I see the linkage, essentially. I do see the linkage. So ultimately, I will 50-50 shot give it. I see the vision on Las Bombas Nucleas being recreated, and I'm not even sure Nucleas is like the Spanish word for nuclear, but essentially I get them being reinvented for that, and I see how that ties into Nostradamus prophecy. So I get that vision. It's just weird that they randomly, like, if that is truly the case, it's so weird that they randomly attacked another nation. I know, like, it's Cold War times during the time that this is taking place, but still very interesting. And someone did point out a very important fact. It wasn't just the idea of La Bombas Nucleas that was consumed by Chainsaw Man. The reason this is being classified as the first time isn't just because they were initially being reborn in all concepts released with the idea of La Bombas Nucleas being eaten by Chainsaw Man, but it is also the fact that Chainsaw Man devoured, like, the concept of the second world conflict, if you will. Like, that whole thing is just gone. Like, a massive event was consumed, along with pieces of that event, including its main motivation, were also consumed by Chainsaw Man, and presumably those weren't thrown up. So that's why it's classified as the first use. So overall, I still think the timing is generally convenient, but at the same time, I'm willing to chalk it up to the fact that I think the narrative's winding down, and Yoru needed dams. So, like, Yoru needed it. And I will agree, someone in the last week's conversation was like, it seems like every single time Yoru's in any sort of real narrative danger, she will get a random gargantuan amp from something that either happened to exist, or in this case, was re-existed, or possibly thrown up. And I do agree. I will admit, in comparison to a lot of Denji's power-ups, which kind of just, like, feel like they're sort of built into the narrative, a lot of Yoru's power-ups are very last-second circumstantial. What they were referring to, what that comment was referring to, was very simply Yoru getting Spagooter and Tank right at the perfect time, able to summon them to herself, first try, no issues, and blitz Pochita, when Pochita was going to take her dome off. Like, they blitzed her, and then she never showed speed comparable to that ever again. Like that just never happened again. So, obviously, La Bombas Nucleas is being recreated at the perfect time, right when Falling was about to boom them. It is definitely convenient narrative writing. And I think I can't give that a full pass. That's the thing. No matter what explanation the chapter gives for La Bamba Nuclear being either reborn or thrown up, I still think I can't give it a full narrative pass because of the timing of it all. It's giving me big vibes of a certain moment in another popular new gen manga where I'm like, yes, the pieces were possibly there. It really depends on if it's number 2 or number 1. The pieces were possibly there, but at the same time, the timing's a little too much. But let's see. Let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into chapter 210. Peace. Las bombas nucleares. That's right. Las bombas nucleares. Do I look up nuclear in Spanish? Oh, I feel like since I'm saying bombas nucleares so much, and I'm assuming I'm gonna be saying it a lot throughout the chapter. Where's my Googler? Yeah. Hold on. Come here. Googler. I summoned. Because I want to be saying it wrong. And now I think about it, is even Las Bombas bombs? Hold on. Like, I'm assuming I could probably, and notably, she's not even saying bombs, she's just saying weapons. But I always think it's funnier. But let's see. This is gonna, I know, and it's gonna be like, why are you looking this up? Okay, so no, yeah, bombs is La Bombas. And then, let's see, nuclear. Oh, is it legit just the same? Yeah, nuclear is just nuclear. I'm not sure if there's a different pronunciation for it. So technically, I was wrong when I said las bombas nucleares, but las bombas nucleares. Ah, that's close. It's so close though. Like I feel like if I'm gonna get in trouble, I'm gonna get in trouble regardless. But I'm gonna stick with las bombas nuclear, because I don't really want to say this sequence over and over again, considering I'm assuming bad things. Let's see. That's right. Las bombas nuclear. My favorite D. Oh no, my top D. You know, I always say D in an effort to, like, censor somewhat. But sometimes it comes out, and I'm like, does it make it worse? Like, like, if someone hears me say, my top D, whether it's in a voice or not, like, I don't think it has positive connotations. Like, it doesn't sound good. And, like, even if I were to explain, like, and I think explaining the context just makes it worse, on top of it already sounding bad. I mean, it's too, we committed to the bit, dog. It's too late. Let's see. Is my top favorite D is La Bombas Nuclear D. But why do I remember? La Bombas Nuclear D got eaten by Chainsaw Man. I still do wonder. And I don't think this is going to be, unironically, I think that battle is going to be very similar to the battle in Seven Deadly Sins, which laid the foundation for the entire narrative. Both Seven Deadly Sins and I almost said Four Nights of the Apocalypse, that's the sequel series, but Seven Deadly Sins and Chainsaw Man both have a really, 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 really important battle that lays the groundwork and foundation for the entire rest of the series, mind you, that we'll just never see. For Seven Deadly Sins, it is the battle between Meliodas and Elizabeth. It is the most important fight in the series. It's literally why the plot and the sequel series happen. You remove that fight from the canon, and the series literally can't function as it does. It literally can't. Trust me. I've rewritten it. It can't work. But with it being the case, same case for this Chainsaw Man battle I'm about to mention. If you may have already guessed what it is, it's very specifically the Three Horsemen, because actually it was confirmed that Big D was not there. Big D was not there. Chainsaw Man did not survive a battle with Big D. No. But the other Three Horsemen, Control, Famine, and War, were all there, along with a couple other high tier Ds, and they all did violate Chainsaw Man to a degree, but Chainsaw Man also violated them. But I do wonder, what, like, was Yoru fused into her children? Like it's like she has with Spulgooter and Tank? Was she fused into them then? Because I remember at the start of the series, in the whole thing about her remembering it, at the start of the series, if you remember, I went and checked this after the last review because I thought it was. She literally says, I'm gonna make you puke up La Bombas Nucleares, or La Bombas Nuclear. I'm gonna make you do that, Chainsaw Man. So she remembered it then. So what was the difference? Was it her connection to Denji that made her completely forget about it? I don't know. I have no idea. That's also kind of confusing. But also at the same time, like, how did, because I feel like it was described, and if I'm remembering properly, I have a little quick reread idea of the first part. I believe it's described like he literally ate pieces of her. But, like, are pieces of her literal, as in they were fused into her, like we see with Spulgooter and Tank? Or were pieces of her, like, you know, just her kids, such as Spulgooter, Tank, La Bombas Nuclear? I don't know. I don't know. And once again, that battle is so important, because without that battle, Pochita would have never ended up in the real world weak enough where he could actually, like, create a bond with Denji, and obviously no bond with Denji, no Chainsaw Man. So, like, We really should see that fight, considering how important it is. But we're never gonna see it, are we? We're never gonna get full context for that battle, despite how important it is. Oh, and like, part of me goes with like the whole idea of nothing will ever be as cool as you imagine it. Nakaba could draw Meliodas versus Elizabeth both in their primes a million different ways. It would never be as cool as I imagine the fight. Same thing with Pochita getting jumped by the 3 horsemen and who knows how many top tier Ds. But at the same time, I just want to see it. I want to see the artist's interpretation of it. I think it's always better. And it would clear up some things that I wonder, such as stuff like this. But it's like, but why did I remember? The Bubbles Nucleus D got eaten by Chainsaw Man. Did he puke it up? Nope. In fact, is he... Denji, are you alright, man? Why is he cooked? Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, he was stabbed in the stomach, so let's see. She looks concerned. And no one concerned. I see. It's not because he puked it. Oh. So he did it. So he did. And it didn't have anything to do with his stomach getting stabbed. Okay. Okay, so it is, once again, it does lean more to the idea that while the erased concepts seem to be stored in Chainsaw Man's stomach, it's really like, it's his esophagus that is like the portal to whatever realm he stores them in. Interesting. Very, very interesting. And honestly, like, I mean, Pochita technically does have conceptual manipulation or like existence manipulation, stuff like that through his consumption. But is it really existence erasure if you can throw him back up? Like, once Beerus Hakai somebody, when he Hakai President Zamasu was gone. Like, you couldn't bring that man back unless you use a super dragon. But then again, I guess it's just levels to it, right? Because you could bring erased universes back, even universes that were erased by Zeno with Super Shenron, meaning that his existence erasure isn't absolute. Obviously, you know, you could wish people back in the same case with Beerus and his Hakais. So I guess maybe this is the same case here, where just technically Chainsaw Man has a lower order of magnitude of existence erasure. Because it's not even really existence erasure, it's like storage? Really enough? Let's see. Oh, but it looks like, look, this is confirming the people like, yeah, boy, and others were right. It seems like they literally just reinvented him. Oh, so we just named it. We did name drop last chapter too. We're gonna dance around this. It's because that group reinvented La Bombas Nuclear from scratch. Yep. And that does, once again, it does seem crazy that could happen, but not. I don't know, man. Because I always like to think of how certain things are almost universal anyway. Like, if you look around many different cultures, which don't have any sort of connection, just we're all humans, right? As a base genome, as a species, we're all humans. If you look across a bunch of human cultures, there are a lot of stories that mirror each other, despite the two cultures being like on opposite sides of the planet. Like, there are stories on one side of the planet and another side of the planet of someone journeying into the underworld to save a loved one. There's no correlation, but there's one group that in like South America came with a similar story, and there's another group in ancient Greece that came with that same story. No mixing, literally no. Like, the two sides of the earth didn't even know the other existed for the longest time. Yet at the same time, those kinds of stories appear because ultimately humanity sort of marches towards certain particular things, erased or not, unknown or not. And I feel like this is the same case here. Ultimately, humans in our never-ending desire to overcome and outdo and destroy each other realistically. Like let's be honest, like, war truly is, just as Fallen described the last chapter, war truly is a fundamental aspect of human beings. So is violence. We will always seek for ways to redestroy each other. And even if such a way of destruction is erased, we'll find our way back simply because we would never be satisfied with what we were left with. And man, and look at the fanaticism too. As this doesn't look like a battle zone. This is like a random city, presumably in the other place, that got leveled by what seems to be like multiple simultaneous. Like, is that 1, 2, 3 La Bombas Nucleares? I keep saying Nucleus because I'm also used to saying that, but La Bombas Nuclear, like that's actually kind of insane that they're all cheering like this. But then again, assuming this is meant to be a mirroring to the original usage, at least from what I read up on, like, celebrations were very similar to that too, because it was the ending of something. But at the same time, this is very different from our world, because the reason the Cold War was called the Cold War is because we didn't decide for mutual destruction. We didn't decide to just light the world on fire because we realized how dangerous las bombas nuclear are. That's the reason why we kind of don't like, while a lot of people have them. A lot of people have them. we don't ever really want to use it. We just like to wave them around. Because essentially, once those reports come in, that something's flying towards you, you're sending something else out. And then that's just mutually destruction for everybody. There are places that have been impacted by La Bombas Nuclear that are still uninhabitable years after. And I'm not talking like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. I'm talking decades later. What I forget what that famous radiation site's called. That's like it's gonna be inhabitable by the time I have great grandkids. That's when the nuclear winter that settled there will finally be gone. So AKA nowhere near any of our lifetimes. That's how bad this stuff is, and that's why it's attempted to be regulated and why we don't want it, but at the same time everybody has it. Because it's like, if you don't have it, how are you even relevant to the meta, bro? It's like having for my fighters players out there, it's like not having a quick low 2L. How are you even relevant in the meta, bro? Or at least like some sort of meta 2L. Like, if you don't have a meta relevant quick button, like how you gonna be relevant in the fighting game scene, bro? Huh? If you don't have a gimmick, how are you gonna be useful in Smash Bros, bro? Huh? Like legitimately. It is just like that. And unfortunately, it looks like they went even crazier than they did in the initial use of them, in the initial war that was consumed. Let's see. Oh! Well, butter my behind and call me a biscuit. Hold on. Oh, I forgot to. I'm so sorry. I forgot to be. But my bad is very. You can literally see I'm recording in a tank top right now. It is burning where I am. But with it being the case, falling is up. Okay, falling. I've definitely wondering why your leg kind of just fell last chapter. Let's say they're still able to fight. Or they got perception blitzed. That works too. All right. So Yoru went from getting fought. So that is, I think that just flat out is the largest leap we've seen, possibly in the series, right? She went from getting absolutely violated, well, already amped, mind you, right? Like the whole pre-setup to this event was the Chainsaw Man Church, and by proxy, Big D, trying to amp Yoru and Chainsaw Man as much as possible. So Yoru was already getting dumb, stupid amps from all the fears and tensions and the wars that were already building up, right? Then she ate her kids in Tank and Splagooter. So she got a massive amp off of that. But even then, that was nowhere near enough for her to be at all remotely comp to falling. But now she's out here violating falling, tanking all of her attacks, and looks like legitimately perception blitzing her. Obviously, falling isn't actually looking at anything. So, like, maybe it's not genuine perception, but, like, look, falling raises the hand, goes to attack, but doesn't even get to get it off before Yoru's behind her flashing a piece. Like, dog. Fattest amp we've seen in the verse. Like, somebody got, like, how big of an amp is it to go from darn near getting perception blitz to perception blitzing somebody? Let's see. I won! Come again. I'm cold. Turn into clothes. Can you do that? Isn't she technically under Big D's jurisdiction? But, huh? And what do you mean? Like, I mean, she's still, like, I don't know, throw hands. She's still here. Let's see. I'm cold. Turn into clothes. Or not. Or not. Or she can, oh, what? Does this count as power activation? I mean, like, I guess clothes can be a weapon, but, huh? I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? Primal fear, by the way. Okay, so I guess Yoru does diff aging. Because aging is actually a primal fear in this universe. Whoopsie. But, like, huh? So, remember how I said Yoru may not be comp for Big D? Maybe? Okay, so this... Because Big Darkness was also a primal fear, I'm pretty sure. Or at least, like, on the level of the primal fears. And they were sort of relative with Makima. So, like, assuming Falling and Big D Darkness are all remotely relative, Yoru may just kind of be the second strongest in the verse right now. Kind of, like, what? Oh, this can't be. Oh, well, actual genuine sweating. So, yeah, this looks like, remember I mentioned last chapter, you're going to have to atomize Falling to differ? Which someone pointed out was like, someone pointed out how, he was foreshadowing that. I did not mean to. And clearly that didn't work, but it looks like, I mean, unless Falling can regenerate from this, it looks like they may be cooked, because they're literally being unraveled. Okay. This can't be. I guess it is. Of course, I remember everything now. I don't love Denji. I'm in love with... Fujimoto, we really... Fujimoto, we really doing this? Fujimoto, right? Now? We're doing this now. Fujimoto. We're doing this... And this... I'm not gonna say it. But you can read. I'm in love with those people. Uh-oh. Oh, it's not even meta. It's not even allegory. We're just going straight for it, huh? I mean, like, I like having a channel. Channel ain't doing too hot, so maybe I do just go. But like, let's just say, if you do have all the money, all the power, and an interest in keeping all the money and all the power, you would want to be the strongest, let's say. And of course, a being who is fundamentally derived from that armed human conflict and gains their strength, abilities, and literal life force from it, would definitely fall in love with the person who not only has all the money and all the power, and thusly can sort of organize, run, or maintain all the conflict in the world, armed or otherwise, but also their ideas would happen to be aligned. Yeah, let's go with that. I'm still not saying it, but let's see. Oh, how we doing this one? How we doing this one? How we doing this one? We'll do it like I'm gonna do something. Yeah. What do we do? I know exactly what to do. I think. Hold on. Maybe I'm cooking. Because I do not want to, like, whew, do I even have to? Oh, what was that? But hold on. We may have to gamble a little bit. Hold on. Let me see. Yes, okay. I'll read her dialogue. I'm not keeping that on the screen for too long. I'm hoping YouTube, please don't atomize me, bro. I'm begging you, dog. I'm begging you. It was for like half a second, please. Okay, so let's read the dialogue, and I'll try to skip to. Hopefully, this doesn't last too long. Okay, it doesn't look like it's gonna last long. Oh no. Oh, she actually started speaking in English. Oh yeah, this is Fujimoto just slapping his meat on the table. He's not wrong. Once again, like that's the thing with the analogy I mentioned earlier. He's not exactly incorrect. Let's say that. The people made me powerful, terrifying, and attractive. Thanks, people. Thank you, people. Thank you. Yeah, that's a little bit rough, but not inaccurate. Hope we don't get in trouble. But like, I mean, like everyone, like that's the thing. Like, you have all the power, all the money. You want to keep all the power, all the money. Yikeroonies, dog. Yikes-a-roon. I mean, let me scroll the next page. Let me make sure everything. Okay. Oh yeah, we're going for it. I'm not gonna like. I mean, Fujimoto, just swing it around, helicopter. Why don't you? Helicopter, smack it on somebody's. Just do it, because you just don't. Wow. I mean, hold on. In fact, in order to get, what can I do here? We'll do this. Yeah, okay. Perfect. See, look at old man Pencil figuring out technology. Hold on. Let me see. All right, there we go. So, yeah. All right. I mean, once again, it is very direct. And you know what? Part of me, I can already see some of the critiques for this, right? I know people are going to be like, why is he being so mean to this group of people and not to, the people where Fujimoto's from? Fujimoto's actually been pretty mean towards his own nation, too. He has been. Like the whole government being willing to sacrifice millions of people children even, to make sure the old, rich, and wealthy stay in power forever because they'd be immortal. Yeah. That's what you're thinking. Like, realistically, the Public Safety Commission as a whole, you know, the whole attitude towards that, like, realistically, Chainsaw Man in of itself is a massive commentary on, like, the state of Japan. I can say that. Like it is. In the same way, in a very similar way to JJK in his commentary on, like, the higher-ups and the structure of everything. And like, there's definitely been a lot of, like, a majority of the Chainsaw Man story has definitely been Fujimoto locking and loading it and just bang directly in the direction of his own people, let's say. But this is the most direct shot. Like, he's literally, like, this is the national anthem. And look at that. The planes flying, people looking through the rubble. Like, and notably, life's not all sunshine and rainbows. I'm not gonna sit here and say that Fujimoto is, like, even remotely, like, from what we know and how the world is and how the world was even at the time period that Chainsaw Man is set in, even in this alternate universe. Yeah. Do you remember who set loose a majority of the Splagooter D on Japan? Remember which nation did that? Remember what nation is also heavily associated with the Splagooter D? Like, in our universe and theirs? Which makes sense why that nation had such a large chunk of the thing? Yeah, I mean, like, this isn't the first, but this is the most direct Fujimoto's been with it. But it makes sense within the context of the character we're following. And it's not really incorrect. Kind of crazy. Let's see. Yep. Interesting, though. Looks like we're kind of flashing into the future with this stuff, though. But, yeah. And look at the thick hazmat suits they have on. It is really like I think the concept of nuclear energy is amazing to me. Like, it is truly limitless, clean energy. Just because of, like, how much energy is contained and how much energy holds together the binds of just a singular atom. But the absolute havoc and horror it can wreak upon entire peoples, nations, war, really upon the, like I said, the Cold War was a Cold War for a reason, because everyone knew that if it became a hot war, everyone was cooked, and I mean literally cooked. So man, it is a horrifying state of affairs, but yeah. And like people said in the comment section, it does make sense that the first people who invented it and used it would be the first people to reinvent it and reuse it in this world too. Let's see. Yeah. Interesting that she goes back to the base school outfit, though. I wonder if that's meant to be a metaphor for something. I mean, maybe, once again, maybe just signifying the journey's at its end. Like we're bookending, because I remember we first saw Yoru in a school outfit. And maybe the cape's meant to signify her progress. But very interesting. She still has the Splagooter and tank hands, but she's in the old school uniform that Asa used to wear. Very interesting, but with a cape. With her hand crossed over her heart. Very interesting that it implies some sort of subservience, love, and once again, Yoru's comparisons to Makima, and it's so interesting actually, because at least when Makima was looking at Chainsaw Man, she was looking at sort of this abstract monster, this creature who could fundamentally change the world in a way that was beyond her, in a sense, which is why she needed him and respected him so much that she couldn't use her abilities on him until he was worn down, drastically weakened. But in this case, in a strange parallel to Makima, Yoru is looking up, giving praise and glaze to these people because they make her. They made her stronger. They made her who she is. They made her beautiful and attractive and more dangerous, as she said. So it's not something she doesn't understand. In fact, it's something she understands all too well, and she loves it. It's once again, just Fujimoto just swinging the schmeat around, dog. Just swinging the schmeat around. Let's see. Flatten the cape, just flapping in the wind. All right. Up, hey, Asa. Please tell me you're scared. Please tell me you can stop her still. Please. And is Denji up right? He had a hole in his head. Let's see. Yoru, are you really going to do it? Do what? Do what? Is it? I thought, like, death is still alive, though. Like, Yoru, I'm assuming you want a state of endless war, right? Like, you would need to off death first. How you gonna do it? Like, Yoru? Yoru. Let's see. You just stay put and watch like a good girl. Did she actually banish Asa? Like, Asa, are you not scared? Hey, yo, take control of this body back right now, young lady. What? And we just cut away. So who walked away? I said close the way. But okay. Yo, you made me cooked. We made Jay leave me cooked. What? Yo, who said you could just leave? I mean, I'm assuming this is yours. I highly doubt Asa took back over. It looks like she literally banished Asa with the flap of the cape. Okay. At least I hope not, because what is Yoru about to do? Let's see. Rock with Denji at least. Oh, okay. So did he heal? Oh, was he taken somewhere else? Looks like he healed. I put it on screen for 5 seconds because I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, he doesn't have the thing in his head anymore. We're gonna go super duper fast, super duper fast, super duper fast. There we go. Okay, but okay. Denji looks like he's starting a transformation again. Maybe to heal himself? Or someone gave him... Oh, no. Yeah. So someone grabbed him, moved him, gave him blood, healed him, pulled his starter, and now he's beginning his transformation again. Alright, let's see. Or not beginning his transformation again? He's back in base again. Huh, okay. Let's see. What the? Denji in a class... Razor? Hold on a second. Wait. Denji in the classroom? Why am I getting fly? Razor? Oh, everyone's wondering where she was this whole part. What? Oh. Not Razor. Okay. Fami? Actually, I never was Fami. You can call me Lil D. You've got to be... Okay. Now, obviously, Fujimoto doesn't know me from a can of paint. But before, when I was early reviewing Chainsaw Man, I was really afraid to call Death. Just like, I really don't like to mess with YouTubers and shit right there. Like, I just don't like it. But I always called him Big D. You know, because I always call the entire species just D's. I call them D's in general. So the fact that she wants to be called Lil D, not only is it just hilarious, because of the context of why I just be called everybody who has any relation to this species a D is hilarious, but also like Gangaroni. Lil D? You're Big D. You Big Death. What you mean call me Lil D? Okay. So Denji's the one who revived, or no, Death, or I guess I got a name for it now. Lil D. Lil D gave Denji blood and revived him. Interesting. Now, but the thing is, I do now wonder, what's her goal? Clearly Yoru's isn't attacking her, or else he probably would have done that by now. But like, what is her goal relative to? Is it still just protect humanity? And if so, is it now protected from Yoru? Like, did Yoru just become the final boss? Do we have like two major like? And what's up with Asa's role in the narrative now? Could she not reject Yoru out of fear? Like, okay. Let me just. A W chapter. But like if you couldn't tell, I'm like actually I'm a little scared because I just don't know what's happening. I also don't know. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna leave it in there because it was only for like 0.2 seconds. Hopefully I don't get beamed for that one page panel. But yeah, crazy chapter. So multiple things. Number one, it is confirmed that Denji himself did not throw up the original La Bombas Nuclear. They're still inside Denji. Now, of course, this maintains the question I did have from last chapter. What happens if that's the case and Denji throws up the original as well? Would Yoru get a further amp on top of that? Would that restore the memories of the original uses of La Bombas Nuclear? Would that restore any other of the previous Ds that were associated with them? Or would there just be blank spots? Like, would they remember the original uses of La Bombas Nuclear, but would no one remember why they were used? Because obviously there's specific context to why the original La Bombas Nuclear were used. And of course, this context evolves after that. We aren't that far into the future. So, like, I don't know. I do wonder if that's ever going to be, like, explained. Now that there is a new concept that represents La Bombas Nuclear, and presumably a new D that represents La Bombas Nuclear, I do wonder if the original has any say in it, if they're exact copies of each other, if they're somewhat different. Number two. Yeah, clearly Yoru's above Primals now. I mean, like, obviously, you can have a debate between who's stronger, falling or aging, but considering falling, like, literally was affecting the entire planet's gravitational waves by just literally existing, as cool and crazy and cracked as aging was, I definitely think they're way too specialized. I think falling is just generally stronger, and they are the only one who is actually a real primal fear, both in that universe and out. So, Yoru being able to diff falling viciously and drastically. Very, very important for scaling. She's now definitely in a tier of her own. Does definitely raise the question of how much Makimo is holding back against Darkness, though. Obviously, we don't know if Makimo is at full strength or if she's at all relative to this current Yoru, but still, you know, they're both horsemen. I do wonder. Number 3, no Fami mention, or no Fami sighting. We know aging got, or falling got entirely consumed, but no sighting of Fami. She was there with falling, and we don't see her here at the end of the chapter, and we didn't see her at all throughout the chapter or last chapter. I do wonder what she's doing now, especially now that, you know, her escort was kind of taken away. Last we saw her, she was staring up at her escort in the street. So, there's that. Number 4, Denji needs amps. He desperately needs amps. It's not even like, it generally isn't even a want thing. Like, that brother needs something. He needs to be leaving here with something, because right now he's looking mad tragic. Number 5, Lil D is now revealing the fact that she Lil D to Big D Denji. And she's the one who saved and revived him. She's only by herself. That's going to raise questions to just the general state of the narrative. So overall, kind of insane chapter, even more insane than the last one, because not only did it confirm the theory that, you know, the Bombas Nuclear were reborn rather than regurgitated, but also it stacks on the confirmation of Yoru's main antagonist role, I guess, from this point on. Raises questions about Big D death, or Lil D raises questions about Denji's role in the narrative from this point on. So, definitely raises questions of what Asa's going to be doing from this point on. Like, is she just now flawed or useless or relevant? There's so many questions up there. I have so few answers. And obviously, you know, there's all the commentary, which I do think ultimately is about. Like, I'm not thinking, I definitely want to spit just because of how we know the world works. So overall, we hit it for 2 times. A W chapter, a hauntingly W chapter if that. But if you meant only see in this video, please do me a favor and leave Big Lil D. Big Lil D. You may be like, Pencilman, doesn't that just make it D? Yes. But Big Lil D is funny. So leave Big Lil D in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Usually leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that notifications can help us out on any videos that come to the channel. Also you can have a Patreon down below where you support me for as low as $1. Cut them on, don't want. Things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 to get the same perks and more. So those perks include the live reactions, here this time to review, ad variations of all my videos. And if you become a $12 Patreon and $12 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also the link to my Ko-Fi in the description below, where you drop 5 views on a short video, 29 views on a long video, or any views at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Once again, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off. I would like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Redwolf 4765, Astro, Super Flame Zero, Glacier, XZ, Zera, Brendan Payne, J2MA, Guillaume, Buddha Uda, Alex Kenny, Yuki Ally, Enzo, Nevis 97, Zachary Wilson, Azo 2404, Planet Crone, Rye Rich, G Prosper, Swift Strike, Alexicon, Striker Man, and Autumn Mornings Lazo. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our line art patrons: Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin, Encarnacion, Dread Zoan, and A+A. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our Ink tier members: Austin Wimberly, Euchia, and Shrimpo the Shrimp. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior and AZ Void. And I'd like to give a thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Waki Munoz and Waki Munoz. And a final thank you to our ultimate That Guy with a Pencil tier patron, Calvin's wife. Not Calvin Elder, who ultimately does have one of my kidneys, but now I must know, and I must undergo the process of getting this second one removed, so I can send the other over to this wonderful family.